Hi, I'm Sarah, and I am going to just kind of give you a little rundown of a little bit of background of the Macomb County Council on Aging, and also talk to you a little bit about the boxes I have next to me. Macomb County Council on Aging was started in 1968. There was a very big lack of information that was being offered to the senior population, and a very amazing group of human beings got together and decided that they were going to offer information, assistance to the senior citizens of Macomb County, and give them the opportunity to know where their money goes, know how to spend their money, know what supports and services were out there for them. And it grew so big that the county of Macomb decided to start offices of senior services. Of course, this industry has changed its name multiple times, but basically it is what Macomb County Council on Aging had started. On top of that, they had retained the Council on Aging as a advisory committee, and they also maintained a membership. So it has always been a support. Once the charter was rewritten a few years ago, Macomb County Council of Aging was no longer considered a advisory committee to older adult services. However, we're looking to hopefully change that in the near future. So, a little bit about what we exhumed yesterday. The actual capsule was buried in August of 1987. There was a few reasons for that. First of all, the Macomb County Council on Aging had become quite large. It got a lot of membership and a lot of support. Number two, we were celebrating the sesquicentennial anniversary of Michigan, which is 150 years. And during those celebrations, they felt it was, a good idea to add in this celebration as well. What they did is they offered any senior in Macomb County could come in and actually drop off anything they felt was important to be put in a time capsule. And then in 2018, this time capsule would be exhumed, and the information would be released, and we'd be able to see what was important to people back in 1987. A little bit, I want to say a couple things about myself first. A lot of people were asking me yesterday, a lot of the news people were asking, well, how did you get into it, being the president of Macomb County Council on Aging? I have always enjoyed working and being with senior citizens. This is just part of me. And when I was much younger, I was running a long-term care facility and was actually told I couldn't become part of a lot of senior citizen organizations because I simply wasn't old enough. I actually sought out and met with the president at the time of Macomb County Council on Aging, met with her. She said that they didn't have any openings, and then a little bit longer, we met again, and she's like, hey, there's an opening for the board. So I jumped right in, and I've been with them for 12 years, and they're president for 9. So it's been quite a fun journey. I've actually just added family. We are a very close-knit group of people, and we truly enjoy senior citizens in knowledge of what they can actually do and with their lives, and give them information on all kinds of things, medications, services, supports out there. And it's just really fun to work with such amazing people. So I'm only one person in a group of great people. These boxes here behind me were actually the items that were exhumed from the crypt. Now the crypt was, if you've seen pictures, and I'll try to post pictures as well in the video through editing, it was an actual crypt for a child. The gentleman that obtained it was working in a funeral home at the time, and he was actually there at the exhumation, and we'll go into that story, some videos down the road. And he acquired it for free. It was donated by a crypt company, and it was built for a child. And then everybody put their items within it, and then they sealed it up and buried it. It was about 4 feet down in the ground, and it was in there for 30 years, obviously. So there's some things that we noticed when we opened it up, and I'll talk about those in just a second. The crypt itself has little baffles inside. They stand about 3 inches up. So when the casket sits down, if water does permeate, it should just sit underneath in those baffles and not go into the casket itself. That was the intention, and that's definitely what we saw yesterday. However, all the items that were donated were placed down inside the baffles. So water did infiltrate, not a lot though, but some water did infiltrate into the baffles. And so these items behind me are damp and wet. Some of them are ruined, some are perfectly fine, some just need to be dried, and then once they will, they'll definitely have some crinkling. But nothing really is in here that would be overwhelming or needing archival kind of intervention. So that's okay with us. We are definitely going to glean a lot of information from in here. And then, thankfully, Mark Hackle is going to do another time capsule for the county of Macomb, and he has asked us to select items from within these boxes that we wish to re-entomb for our future population to exhume and find at a later date. So that's really cool. It was one thing that we noticed when we opened it. I definitely noticed it was a pungent odor, and it was made even more pungent when those boxes were placed in the back of my car and I drove home. It's got a smell of something that has been buried for 30 years, and it was entombed about 4 feet down under soil, and then they did exhume it at one point to find it, and then they just put sand over it, so it was easier for us to dig out during the ceremony. But it was buried under there for 30 years. Water did infiltrate it. It was a largely oxygen-free environment. However, stuff grew on these items, so that brought concern as well. So what I'm going to do is, after this video, I'm going to publish another video of me actually going through all these items and laying them down. I've got 2 large tables in our garage. I do not want to bring the moldy substances into our home. I just feel that that's not a good choice. So I'm going to lay them out here in the garage. It's a very environmentally controlled, and I'm going to allow everything to dry and then bring them to our meeting. I am going to do some research also on removing any kind of mold from there, if that's possible. And also, anybody watching this video, you can just comment down below and let me know. I'd be more than willing to try out anything that you suggest. Again, majority of these things are paper. There are some pictures and things of that nature, and some of the cool things in here, there are some letters from people who wrote letters to their future great-grandchildren. So hopefully those are largely intact and we can find the recipients, the intended recipients. So that should be quite a fun endeavor. So what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to close this video. The next video you're going to see is me in fast-paced motion. I'm just going to like speed up the video of me opening up everything very carefully, removing each item and laying it out individually. The boxes were actually packed separate. I asked them to put paper in one box and then anything plastic or plastic covered, because a lot of people put things in Ziploc baggies or a zip top baggie to protect it. Some it worked for, some it did not. That was fascinating to me as well. So I'm gonna like lay them out accordingly. I'm also gonna be wearing gloves because I just feel like I need that little added protection. Seeing as though last night, even after washing dishes and showering and everything else, I still smelled that smell on my hands, which kind of concerned me. So I'm gonna do this to hopefully get everything to dry. And I'm hoping anything that was alive on here is going to die upon drying, so we're gonna keep our fingers crossed. So I'm very excited because there's so much to learn and to see what was important to people at one time 30 years ago, and also to celebrate a huge mile marker for the Macomb County Council on Aging, which is 50 years of service to senior citizens. By the way, all the work that Macomb County Council on Aging did back in the day, and the support and services availability for seniors was mimicked, borrowed, and mirrored with every other county in the state of Michigan and beyond. So that is something else huge that we're going to hold on to and be very proud of. So again, just watch the next video and enjoy this fast-paced run through of opening boxes.